What is up, fam? Thank you so much for tapping in to So Real Sports Talk. I am your host, So Real Sunil. To my this side, I got Varuna, my co-host, and this is This Week in Cricket, where we talk about everything that's hot this week in cricket. So, Varuna, how has your night been? How has your day been? How has your week been?
It's been good, been a bit busy, but finally found the time to talk about what I love.
Great. Well, that's why I have you on the show. So let's start it off. Latest news this week. There's been a lot going on. A lot of teams have been playing. Some notable injuries that I know you wanted to talk about. So, what is the latest news this week in cricket?
Yes, so first thing is that Ben Stokes, he is going to miss cricket for indefinite time. The timelines are not sure. Basically, it's not a physical injury. He is going to take care of his mental well-being. Now, this is really concerning. He is going to miss five test match series started today versus India, and I'm not sure, excuse me, whether he will come for World T20. Now Ben Stokes is basically the key player. Excuse me.
No problem.
Let me have some water.
Yeah, and I mean Ben Stokes is obviously one of their linchpins as far as the England team. You know, he's very obviously a great batsman, great bowler for them. So one of those all-around people that really help glue that lineup together because he can be, one of their strengths in bowling and batting. So him not being on the team, that takes a big impact on a team like England that really um, really count on him to be a prolific player for them. So, what do you think this does to their chances if he can't play in the T20 World Cup?
Yes, I think not just the T20 World Cup. England have basically three series that are coming really important. First thing is the five match series against India. It's all about pride because England has been a good test side. They are good test side. They are playing at home. So that's the first thing. Second thing is the T20 World Cup. Then Ashes, excuse me, Ashes series comes up. I'm extremely sorry about this. So Ben Stokes is the best all-rounder in the cricket world, no argument. Because in the 2019 World Cup, he single-handedly won the World Cup for England. The final, he was the superstar. I mean, New Zealand had the chance to win the game during the regular overs, regular time, but then Stokes got them to tie up the game. Even in the super over, he did really well. So England is going to miss him because not just about team balance, because Ben Stokes, he can play just as a batsman if he wants to, or just as a bowler, depending on the team needs. So here England will struggle to balance the team and as well as the experience that he has, because if we remember 2016 World Cup, the final, Ben Stokes was the guy who delivered the final over. Then Craig Brathwaite, he hit four sixes in a row to win the World Cup. So and West Indies needed 19 runs to win, and Ben Stokes was shattered. But I mean, social media was just making fun of him. But I knew back then Ben Stokes is the guy who is going to come back really strong, and he proved it. 2019, he proved that he is the best all-rounder that we have seen in this decade. I mean, maybe most probably he is the best all-rounder cricket world has seen after Jack Callis from South Africa. He is that good. He played a blinder against Australia to single-handedly win a test match, scoring 153 runs. So he had so many innings that we can talk about for hours and hours. We are single-handedly getting the England team over the line. Now, missing him, experience, his leadership, even though he is not the captain, he brings that leadership element to the team. He's like, uh, in comparison, the Fred Warner of 49ers. So
Hmm.
he's that guy who can really bring the players, improve players around him. Because if he hits, I mean, if he scores well, the players around him scores. If he bowls well, because he can bowl fast. He's not like a guy who will bowl 120, 130K and score 30, 40 runs. No, he's not the guy. He can score centuries. He can bowl 140, 145. So this is a big concern for England, but at the same time, I'm happy that he took his time away from the game to take care of himself, because that's the most important thing, because we all see what professional athletes go through even at Olympics. So I'm really glad that he takes care of himself, but it's going to be a big disappointment in terms of England plans. They are going to miss him.
Definitely. I mean, it's gonna. We just did like a breakdown last week of the England T20 side. This is a big enough move where now we're looking at a team like South Africa that's in there, or West Indies then becomes like the outright favorite, I would say, and now maybe even England isn't as much of a favorite to be able to guarantee moving into the knockout rounds or the top four, because of how big of a glue piece that Stokes is for that team. You may be able to find somebody that replaces his batting or can somewhat replace his batting, but then you're going to miss out on his bowling. Or you go for an extra bowler, now you're missing out on a solid bat. So it's going to give England a really tough decision on how to replace him, because he's been able to do everything so well for them and really be kind of that closer, like you said, for their team, especially at the T20 level. And out of everybody on the England team, he's the most, I guess, seasoned T20 player as well. So I think that's going to make a big dent on them for the T20 World Cup if he can't come back by then. In other injuries, I know you were talking about Pandya. We obviously know Hardik Pandya wasn't gonna play. As they are resting him as well. Anything big, major you see in that, or that's pretty much what everybody expected?
Yeah, the thing is, Hardik Pandya, he is not ready or fit to play red ball cricket. Now, he played the white ball format in Sri Lanka. He bowled some overs, but they were saying even back in May, Pandya will not able be bowled in test matches. So that's a huge disadvantage, because not because India don't have players that can replace Pandya, but if Pandya can play that number 7 position, they can really balance the team. Because we saw that today, even during the Test Championship final, because India always now want to play 5 bowlers. So that's a new attitude, the new face of this Indian team, because they are really aggressive. They are not like the teams that were in the past 10, 15 years ago under Virat Kohli. This team is super aggressive. India is basically, in terms of mentality, the new Australia. So they always go for the kill. Now, even today's game, India interestingly left out Ravichandran Ashwin, their number 1 spinner, and playing Jadeja to balance the team, because they are playing 4 fast bowlers plus Jadeja as the lead spinner and 6 batsmen. But if Pandya was here, they could have easily played Pandya at 7, then probably Ashwin at 8, and then 3 genuine fast bowlers. So for T20 World Cup, I don't think there will be issue. Pandya will play. Most probably, I believe, even during the IPL, then there will be a problem for Mumbai Indians, your team.
Right.
Pandya will not most probably bowl for Mumbai Indians, because I mean, definitely the country comes first. You have a important assignment comes up, so they want to save him. He will play purely as a batsman. I don't see anything wrong with that, but it would have been really nice if Pandya played even the World Test Championship final this series, because in a way Pandya has proved what he is, what his capabilities are. He is a quality all rounder. But if he played this series, England Test match series, it would have been a golden opportunity for him to cement his place in all the formats for Indian team and prove himself that he is a quality all rounder. Because last time when India played England, there was a criticism that Pandya is not red ball ready. He is not test match player. Michael Holding directly, threw a criticism at Pandya. What was the Pandya's response? He took 5 wickets in the test match. So he basically proved, okay, I mean, Michael Holding is one of the greats of all time. He's entitled to his opinions, but I mean, we all get it wrong sometimes, because it's not about analyzing something that has happened in the past versus predicting something. So I believe he talked about the trades and other stuff from what he was seeing, but Pandya proved it wrong, and he showed that, okay, no, I can do it, because especially given the England conditions, the bowling conditions, the pitches, and etc., it suits Pandya. So I would say he can bowl 10 overs, 15 overs in a day and take maybe a couple of wickets. That would be always a plus for the bowling team. He can keep a one end, let's say, gives like 30-40 runs in his 15 overs. So I think he also will think about it as a missed opportunity playing 5 test matches, but his time will come. I mean, he is a great all-rounder, has a very good attitude, work ethic. So T20 World Cup will be big for him, but if he was there, India would have been much stronger, I would say.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I haven't. I can't even remember the last time Pandya was fully healthy. So I would kind of rather him take as much time as he needs to actually, heal that back. I don't even know what the injury is now, but it all stems from that, back injury that he's just always is lingering some way, some form. The way he plays, nah, I think you gave it to me.
Yes.
But the way he plays, it's just a lot of wear and tear. He's a very athletic player. He uses all of his body and his length really well. So I would rather see him just take some time, get purely healthy. Even if he doesn't bowl for Mumbai Indians, I would be fine with that, because I mean, he even earlier in this before they shut down, he wasn't bowling much for Mumbai Indians. So I think they'd be fine. They have enough depth there, and they have Bolt and Bumrah, who are pretty unstoppable in that tournament. So, but Amin has a question for us. Waruna, Sunil, who are your guys' favorite IPL team? Waruna, you obviously didn't tune in to our first ever show because we talked about it. My favorite team is the Mumbai Indians. That's what actually got me into cricket. And Waruna, who's your favorite IPL team?
Actually, it changed over the years. Initially, it used to be Kings Exide Punjab, because Kumar Sangakkar played for Kings Exide Punjab. I believe Mahal started with Kings Exide. Then, obviously, I have to say this, it's Mumbai Indians, Lasith Malinga, and there is one reason, Rohit Sharma. I mean, Rohit Sharma is my favorite. I mean, if you take current Indian players, Rohit Sharma is my favorite Indian player, because I was afraid at the beginning of the Rohit Sharma's career that he would not fulfill his potential, because at the beginning when Rohit Sharma entered international cricket, he was a guy, you can see he has the potential, but he wouldn't have that patience to stay in the wicket, score that runs. But eventually he got the hang of it and he realized, okay, this team is pretty competitive and I have to do my part to stay in this side, and he did it. And I mean, other than his cricketing, I mean, on field, his performance, he's a very nice human being. Uh, I mean, most players not within the Indian team, I mean, in the cricket world, respect Rohit Sharma. So that's one of the reasons that I like Mumbai Indians.
And I mean, obviously, he's taking shots, saying Mumbai has the best team, won the championship last year, calling us bandwagon jumpers. But you know what? Like, I got into IPL through the Netflix docuseries on the Mumbai Indians. So I don't know if I was a bandwagon jumper. They actually lost that season that I watched. So I still was a fan of theirs. And, you know, I became a fan and they ended up winning the next season. So maybe I'm the good luck charm, my guy. Maybe I'm the good luck charm. But let's move
Yeah,
on.
and there is one additional reason. I forgot why I like Mumbai Indians a lot, because the coach, Mahela Javardhan. So
Yep.
he's a hero to me. So if Mahela goes to the next team, I would follow Mahela. So that's another reason.
All right, cool. So let's talk, you know, briefly. Obviously, the India Sri Lanka tour is going on. What do you expect from this tour, and what are your predictions?
So basically, tour ended in a unpredicted way, because uh, India won the one-day series 2 matches to 1. I mean, that was expected. But then come the T20 series, Sri Lanka won the series 2 matches to 1. But the thing we have to consider is the context, because the first match India won, India had the full side. But this come the second game, the Krunal Pandya, he got COVID. Then the people, I mean, the close contacts to him, 8 players, they were quarantined. Right? Hardik Pandya, Surya Kumar Yadav, Prithvi Shaw. I mean, Surya Kumar and Prithvi Shaw was supposed to join the squad in England for the Test series. Sanju Samson. So Indian team was forced to play with just 11 players in second and third T20 games. In the third T20 game, India scored 82 runs, 81 for loss of 8 wickets. But that game, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, he was forced to bat at number 6. Kuldeep Yadav was forced to bat at number 7. I mean, they are usually the guys who bat at number 8, not even 8, 9, 10. But they were forced to play that. I mean, if situation went into another from worse bad from, I mean, another situation, probably they would have even have to ask Rahul Dravid to suit up and play. That's the situation. So I would really like to, I mean, as a Sri Lankan, thank Indian team, because they didn't stop the tour or cancel the tour and went back. They played 2 matches, because, I mean, end of the day, no matter which team plays, whether you are second string players or whatnot, still your the loss is goes against your country. But India, they put the brave face forward. They finished the series, because it is important for Sri Lanka, because financially, if India plays in Sri Lanka, that's a huge boost for the Sri Lankan cricket board. I mean, they make huge amount of money that will cover their expenses and everything. So they depend on these two, especially playing in India, because India is the biggest market in the cricketing world. So, I mean, kudos to India for doing that. I mean, not leaving Sri Lanka behind. If India left without 2 matches remaining, would have been a huge financial loss, as well as for the players, the team that Sri Lanka played, the young players, they got so many opportunities experience wise, and there was really good vibe and relationship between the two teams, because they are Chamika Karunaratne, up and coming young Sri Lankan all-rounder. So he wanted the cricket bat from Pandya, right? So before the game, there is a very nice video. So because Chamika Karunaratne's his idol is Hardik Pandya. So Karunaratne wanted to talk to Pandya, but he was a bit shy. So he went to Surya Kumar Radev and told him, okay, can I talk to Hardik Pandya? And Pandya asked, okay, what's up? And somebody said to Pandya, okay, this guy wants a cricket bat. And Pandya asked Chamika Karunaratne, okay, do you want a bat? And first time, Karunaratne was so kind of panicked and he said no. Then Pandya asked again, do you want a bat or not? Yes, I need a bat. And Pandya gives him a very good cricket bat. Chamika went in to say it's a A-grade cricket bat that usually they don't get that kind of bats. So he has so many pictures holding that bat. So there is a nice camaraderie relationship going on between players. I saw Shikhar Dhawan after the end of the T20 series talking to Sri Lankan players, giving some quality advice, uh, how to move forward, take that win, go to the next level. I saw Rahul Dravid talking to Sri Lankan captain Dasun Shanaka on a rain break. So these are really good things outside the sport, outside the playing field, that you build these relationships. It's good for the team, it's good for countries. So thank you again for India for what you did at this time, because we know at cricket field, as a kid, what I remember 1996, when Australia and West Indies refused to come to Sri Lanka due to bomb threats, India was the country came and played a friendly match along with Pakistan to prove that Sri Lanka is safe to play cricket. This is our little brother. We are with him. So India has been always in the cricket field, our brother, big brother, I would say. So it's hard. It was really warm, heart touching experience. The concluded tour.
And Waruna, just say the name. Who is the best player on the Sri Lankan team right now?
Vanidu Hasaranga.
There you go. I mean, all right, cool. So let's move on. Last week we broke down Group 1, which was the group of death, basically. Today we're gonna be breaking down Group 2, and Group 2 pretty much seems like a battle for second place. Obviously, I think most people feel like India is gonna pretty easily come out of this group, but we're gonna do a quick breakdown of all of the teams, and we'll start Waruna with New Zealand. So obviously New Zealand is coming off some big momentum, winning the Test World Championships against India. Obviously the Test is a lot different from the T20 format, but tell us a little bit about the New Zealand team. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? And what are your expectations of them through this tournament?
I think New Zealand can be a dark horse to begin with, but it again depends on how their best players perform and how the pitchers will behave. Pitchers in the sense, if these pitchers going to behave, let's say, for modest scores, I would like to say like from 130 to 160, 170, if that is the range this pitcher is going to allow, then New Zealand has a chance, because they have players who can chase down a score, set up a score in that range and defend it, because they have Williamson, then Jimmy Neesham, they have Mitchell Santner. Mitchell Santner, last World Cup 2016 against India, he bowled really well. So they have experience. Some of these players, Kane Williamson has IPL experience. Then Kyle Jamieson, he's up and coming bowler who bowls really fast. He has IPL experience. So they have players. Again, you talked about Trent Bolt, Tim Southey. These players have experience playing in subcontinent. They know what to expect. They know how to swing, especially in the first 6 overs. But for some reason, I believe when it comes to major T20 tournaments, New Zealand always coming to the major stage and unable to get past the line, because that has happened during last 2 World Cup finals, 50-over format. They were finalists, but they couldn't get over Australia and England. in T20 series format, they have never made to a final in World Cups. As far as I remember, they were there. I mean, they were doing well in 2016, 2014 group formats, but when it comes to knockout format, they tend to eventually give away because sometimes they don't have that big match players stepping up to make them move forward.
Okay, great. Let's move on. Next team, Pakistan. So Pakistan is an interesting team. You know, obviously a rich tradition there. The Pakistan versus India match is probably going to be the most watched match, maybe out of maybe even more than the finals is going to be Pakistan versus India. But tell us a little bit about Pakistan's team breakdown and what are your expectations of how far Pakistan could actually go in this type of format?
Now, Pakistan is always interesting because you never know what they are going to do. So
Mm-hmm.
one day they would play like world champions. The very next day they would play like high school team. So that's their nature. It's not like something related to Pakistan in last, let's say, 2 3 years. That has been their identity, I would say, from 20 30 years back. Because if you remember, I think it was 99 World Cup, Pakistan was playing really well, but they lost to, I think they lost to Scotland or Ireland. I can't remember. No, they lost to Bangladesh. They lost to Bangladesh. Uh, that was the turning point for Bangladesh to regain the test status. They lost to Bangladesh. Then in the
Mm-hmm.
final, they were playing pretty good cricket. In the final against Australia, they were blown away. They just scored 130 odd runs and Australia chased within 20 overs. So you never know what Pakistan will do. But they have players. They have Baba Sam. I mean, they have this natural talent, players who can single-handedly win games. I mean, they don't have players like Shahid Afridi now who are retired, but still they have a very quality squad, capable squad. But the only problem that I'm seeing is if you see this uh, team on the paper, you can say they can match any side in the world because they have the experience. This is the backyard they are playing because most of the times when international teams play against Pakistan, they play in Sharjah or Abu Dhabi or whatever, because still most of the teams do not travel to Pakistan. So they have everything in their hands, but the only problem is consistency, whether they can play, let's say, in the first round, you need to play 5 games, then you have semifinals and finals. Can Pakistan play 7 games in a stretch? In a consistent level, I really doubt that because down the line there will be a moment that they are going to flip and have going to have a bad day, and that's the end of the tournament for them.
So if Pakistan was to make a run in this tournament, who are one or two players, what or not, that you believe really need to step up for the Pakistan team to bring that type of leadership and bring that type of top level play to make this team go as far as their potential can take them?
Yes, I think most probably the captain Baba Assam, he will have to step up. He will have to lead from the front. Then they have Shadab Khan. Shadab Khan is a good leg spinner. So if they can make, lead by the example, bowling attack and batting, then they can go forward. And especially they are playing New Zealand, they are playing Afghanistan. India game going to be a thriller, but still it's a mountain to climb for the Pakistan team. But still they have a good opportunity because the teams that are coming from the initial stages are runner-up from Group A and winner from Group B. That means most probably they are playing Bangladesh and some team like Ireland or Netherlands. So they have a good chance. They have a good chance to win out of 5 games that they are playing, 3 or 4 games. 4 would be maximum, but 3 games they should be able to win. Again, uh, rather than saying specific players, I would say as a team they have to step up.
I like it. I like it. That Pakistan India match is going to be wild because Pakistan really hasn't beaten India in any big tournament or big time match in quite a long time. So I know they're probably circling that match on their calendars for sure. That'll
Yes,
probably beating India might be a bigger deal than winning this whole tournament, to be honest, for them.
yes, because the last time the major tournament that when India and Pakistan met in 2017 championship trophy final, the 50 over mini World Cup. Pakistan won that game. So I think that was the first time that Pakistan achieved something big against India in a major tournament final. So they might have that in the back of their minds. They will keep that. They will try to simulate that, but India usually has been always stronger in major tournaments, whether it is first round matches or finals. Always they have the edge over Pakistan. So I think it will be hard. It will be
Yeah.
hard for Pakistan.
Next team in the group is Afghanistan, and Afghanistan is an interesting team. They have, some very good T20 players. They have a few, two or three players that play in the IPL. And they have an overall pretty solid team. So tell us a little bit about, what your overall thoughts of Afghanistan is and what your predictions are for them this tournament.
Yes, so Afghanistan again, really interesting team. I would like to rank them above New Zealand in this group because now in this group, top four teams that we think are India, Pakistan, New Zealand, and Afghanistan. I would like to rate Afghanistan as the third best team in this group. I mean, in this group, based on Pakistan's performance, because of course um, they have Rashid Khan. So Rashid
Mhm.
Khan is the most, I mean, in T20 format, he has played all over the world. He has the experience. I mean, he's young. He's young, but experience wise, I think he's a veteran in
Mhm.
T20 format. So he knows what to do. Then you have Mohammad Nabi. Mohammad Nabi, he's also another player who regularly plays IPL, Caribbean Premier League, Bangladesh Premier League, Pakistan Super League. So they know the players that they are playing against, the conditions and everything, and they have some other young up and coming spinners. So this side has talent, uh, and they believe in what they are doing. So they are doing really well even in Asia Cups. The last Asia Cup they were able to beat Sri Lanka. They were able to beat I think they lost against Bangladesh, but still that was a close game. So they know what to do. So this team, I believe, only needs someone to say, "Hey guys, look, we can do this. Let's forget about the names. Let's forget about the players." Because one most important thing is sometimes in every sport you can't play the names, you have to play what's in front of you. Because once there was a cricketer that I know, he told me, who played first class cricket for Sri Lanka. It's a short story. So before a game, the game is supposed to happen tomorrow, and one of his actually his captain came to him because this guy was supposed to open. Said, "Hey, okay, look, these guys are going to be the opening bowlers, so just be on watch. Don't play any rash shots and stuff." So what this guy's answer was, "I don't play the names. I just play the ball that comes to me." So that should be the attitude this team must have. Don't worry about other players playing India. Just play what's in front of you. If they can do that, you never know, but they might be able to even make to the semifinals.
I like it. Now, the one thing is, with Khan and Nabi, they're really good, bowlers. And Khan obviously is a good all rounder. But does Afghanistan have the batting they need? to be able to compete in this group?
I believe so. Because the reason is, again, these pitches most probably after the IPL. So IPL is going to happen in the same venues. I believe the pitches are going to be more on the slower side, uh, in the scoring side between 120 to 160. If a team bats really well, like West Indies with the power hitters, maybe these teams will be able to reach 180 mark. But I don't think this tournament is going to be a team batting first, scoring 220 runs. The team batting seconds might chase it down or still get to within the margin of 200 or more. I don't think so. So they have enough players that can chip 20 runs, 30 runs, and as well as in with the bowling, the spin options, they can basically choke the other batsmen, especially like New Zealand, uh, whatever the other teams that coming through. So I think it's an all-round team. If somebody can get 40 runs, that would be more than enough. If others can just chip in with 10, 15 runs, that would be a good game for them.
Beautiful. Now, obviously, the team to beat in this group, definitely, and maybe even in the whole tournament, is going to be India. Obviously, they have such depth. We've been talking for the last few weeks. India's biggest problem is figuring out who they're actually going to bring because they have so much talent at every single position that's there. So, what do you think about overall India's side? And give us some predictions as far as who do you think is going to come into this team that might not have played in previous T20 sides for them, and who do you think are going to be the bowlers that they bring as well?
Yeah. So definitely India is going to be the strongest side in this group. And now, given England is going to miss Ben Stokes, uh, maybe they are now on par with, I mean, the West Indies and India might be the only two good sides. I mean, I'm not ruling out England, but I was previously saying about three teams: England, West Indies, India. Now it's, to me, it's like West Indies and India. This team is going to be really interesting because Rohit Sharma obviously a starter. Then we have Virat Kohli, KL Rahul, and Surya Kumar Yadav.
He has to make the team. He has
Yes, he has
to.
to. He has to make the team. And then you have guys like Rishabh Pant. He has to make the team as a wicket keeper. Then you have guys like Prithvi Shaw. Prithvi Shaw is doing really well, and Sanju Samson, he showed a lot of promise. And you have like guys like Hardik Pandya. He can balance the team at number 7. Even he can bat at number 6. Then you have guys like Krunal Pandya. He can bat, bowl. He can bowl those slow darts into the right-handed batsman, make them miss. So, and I'm not sure. I'm really interested to see whether they will pick Washington Sundar in the final 11. Washington Sundar was supposed to play in the Test match series, even though he wouldn't have made to the final 11. He was in the squad. He got injured. He went back to India. So he's a young spinner. He can bowl really well. So I was interested to see whether he would make the team. Then you have Chahal, Kuldeep Yadav, Jasprit Bumrah. He would bowl at the end. Then they have Natarajan, who is up and coming bowler, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. So I don't know how they are going to select.
And you haven't even mentioned Shami, and you haven't mentioned Jadeja, who I think is going to make the team as well.
Jadeja, I have a feeling might miss this team because yes, why I think is that India right now tend to play the wrist spinners versus finger spinners. Now Jadeja is a finger spinner versus Chahal is a wrist spinner, and you can't forget Deepak Chaha. I remember he's the guy who bowls leg spin. There is another Chaha. He's Rahul Chaha who bowling fast. So I think one of I think Deepak Chah. So Deepak Chah is going to make this squad. So they might play, and you have Kuldeep Yadav. So I'm not sure when you have these kind of spinners who are battled, hardened, tested. Ravindra Jadeja going to find a place in this team. Even might not be in the squad because India does not have to use Ravindra Jadeja to balance this team because they have Pandya. They can use other guys who can bowl. So most probably this is going to be a very interesting tournament for India because some might feel if India does not win the championship, the World Cup, it's a disappointment because the level of talent, the quality this team possesses.
So if you had to pick between Krunal Pandya and Jadeja on the team, who are you bringing for India?
I would bring in Krunal Pandya. Krunal Pandya, yeah, I have seen that when I mean Jadeja, of course, is a quality all rounder, good fielder, everything. But I believe Krunal Pandya is more suited for T20 format, especially he bowls a little bit slower because Jadeja, he usually what he does is he bowls like these darts into the right-handed batsman into his pads. While Krunal Pandya has some variations, he sometimes bowl bit slower, making the batsman go against him, introducing the whatever the errors batsmen make. So and he can bat too. So if I have to make the decisions, yes, I will go with Krunal Pandya. Basically, I will have both Pandya brothers in my team.
Wow. Teams looking a lot like Mumbai Indians, right? So
Yeah.
let's do Varuna's prediction, okay? So opening two batsmen obviously are gonna be who?
Uh,
Rohit
Rohit
Sharma.
Sharma. Then it will depend whether KL Rahul might open.
Between Rahul or Kohli, right? Because Kohli
Yes,
just he said he might want to be opening batsman as well.
yes, but I believe Kohli might be suited coming at number three. Then at number four, it might be Surya Kumar Yadav, then
Uh-huh.
Rishabh Pant, uh, probably a guy like Hardik
Prithvi Shah.
Pandya. Yes, Prithvi Shaw. Yes, if Prithvi Shaw plays, he might open as well. Then it might be Rohit Sharma, Prithvi Shaw, KL Rahul, Virat Kohli at number four, Surya Kumar at five, then Rishabh Pant at six, then Hardik Pandya coming at number seven. Then you have Jasprit Bumrah, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, two fast bowlers. Then
Chahal.
Yuvendra Chahal and Kuldeep Yadav. So, instead of Kuldeep Yadav, Krunal Pandya. So,
So
they have
The Chahal, you didn't even put the Chahal brothers in there,
yes,
or the
yes,
cousins.
yes. That's the thing. That's the thing because
I don't think Krunal Pandya makes the team, my man. I think that I think they have enough of the all rounders as far as like keeping the bats. I think his position goes to a specialist bowler because I don't think Krunal Pandya is as good at at bowling as the Chahars
yes,
um,
that's true.
or Yadav. So I think that he doesn't make the team just because they already have so many bats. You already listed 7 that are pretty much for sure making the team, and then the rest of the spots have to go to the bowlers because they have to be on the team as well, right? So
Yes,
I think Grunau doesn't make the team.
yeah, yeah. That might be a possibility. Yes, I would say that's the best chance. Yes, yeah. I mean, given the form that Deepak Chaha is in.
Yeah, that's a fun I guess kind of position to be in. Whoever's selecting the teams, that's going to be a lot of debates that are going to happen over
Yes.
that table. So let's give your overall predictions for the group. I'm assuming India you believe is coming out, but who do you think is coming as the 2 spot out of this group?
Yes, so my initial guess would be India coming on top as the number one team. Then Pakistan might come as the number two, but given the level of qualification round, Bangladesh will be in this group. So if Bangladesh play their cards right, they are playing the T20 series against Australia right now, five match series. Already they are 2-0 up in the series. Bangladesh can be a dark horse. I think the second spot will be a close race between Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh. Three teams will fight for the second spot. I will rule out New Zealand because New Zealand might struggle against Afghanistan, even Bangladesh, and Pakistan.
So if you had to make a decision, who's going to be the number two spot?
Number two, okay. I'm going to take Afghanistan.
Afghanistan. Okay. Little bit of a curveball in there. So
Yes.
you predict the semifinals will be West Indies versus Afghanistan, India versus England.
Yeah.
And then who goes to the finals?
India will. That's the problem because even last time India was playing really good. Come the semifinals, they had to meet West Indies. But given the situation, India should probably win that semifinal against England, and West Indies should win against Afghanistan because all these West Indies players, they have played this Afghanistan players. They know how to face Rashid Khan because Rashid Khan can bowl four good balls. Even his next two balls, the good deliveries can be hit out of the park by one of these West Indies big hitters. So right now, I'm expecting India versus West Indies final.
Who wins that final?
I think it's pretty hard to answer because the reason is
we don't even know the teams.
We don't. Yes, teams and West Indies always have that X factor.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they won the two World Cups in 2012. They were down and out. Marlon Samuels came out. He's not supposed to be a big hitter in terms of if you take guys like Gale, Jane Bravo, Pollard, Andre Russell. He's not that guy, but he played a blinder. He scored 79 runs, and Sri Lanka was out of the game midway into the second innings. In 2016, they were just chasing because score they had to get like, as far as I remember, 130 runs or something. Final over 19 runs, World Cup final. I mean, it's basically England had one hand on the cup and just 4 sixes in 4 balls, everything turned. So the West Indies is that team, so you never know. Even that's what happened as I discussed previously in the 2016 semi-final.
Come on, Varuna, make a choice. Make a choice.
Okay, I'm going to pick West Indies.
Wow.
If that game is, I'm going to pick West Indies.
Okay, I think Pakistan's gonna come out. I think India, Pakistan. So I think it'll be Pakistan, West Indies, and I think it's gonna be India versus South Africa. I think South Africa takes that number 2 spot. I also think India, West Indies makes it to the finals, and I'm going with Mother India taking the championship because you know what? They've been so close in every single one of these big tournaments. They finally have to finish it off and win one of these trophies. And I think the T20 World Cup is going to be the one that they actually win. So those are our predictions. Anything else you wanted to talk about, Varuna?
Actually, the first test match, India versus England, started today. So first day finished. India, interestingly, dropped Ashwin to balance the team. They brought in Jadeja. And the result, I think you asked me, but it's a prediction for the test series. I said India would win at least 3 games. The first day, England all out for 183 runs. Only Joe Root scoring 64. Other than that, England team, it looked like they are playing at foreign conditions because some of the shots were pretty lame. They were not in the test match mentality. India had a quick work on the England team, and right now they are 21 for no loss. Rohit Sharma batting really well with KL Rahul. So I really wish India had that seventh batsman all rounder, because if so, they could have pushed for 350, 400 in the first innings.
Mm-hmm.
If that is the case, then England would be just chasing the game. But it would be really interesting what will happen on the second day. But I'm as far as it goes. I mean, cricket is, of course, it always changes. We never know, uncertain. But India started with a really good uh, step. I mean, this is the right way to start the series. First day, dominating, especially playing in England against England. They are dominating from the word go. So that's the attitude I really like about this Indian team. They are always in for hunt, in for kill. So let's see what how it turns out to be. If India can come out on top in this game, if they can start the series 1-0, then England would be looking for a real hard test match summer, because they don't have Ben Stokes. The batsmen, they are all at sea. If you get Joe Root early, and this batting lineup is horrible. So it would be a really interesting series. Probably England going to be embarrassed at their home.
Wow. Well, we'll be able to talk about it next Wednesday. So thank you so much, Wuduna, for taking the time to do the show. Everybody that tuned in, appreciate you guys. Stay safe. Remember, keep it so real, and we will catch you guys next week. Have a great night.
Okay, guys.